Run, Hide, Fight is an American action thriller film released in the year 2020. The plot of the film follows a teenager named Zoe, who, along with her whole school, find themselves against her armed classmates who have kept the school hostage. The film begins with a 17-year-old Zoe Hull going hunting with her father Todd in the middle of a forest. Todd explains to Zoe the tricks and techniques to hunt a deer. Following his guide, she takes a shot on a deer but ends up shooting it non-lethally. Upon approaching the injured animal, Todd describes that she will have to kill the deer completely, going against nature's will. Out of nowhere, Zoe grabs a brick and smashes it on the deer's head, killing it to death. Todd is shocked to see the frustrated side of Zoe, but helps her pull the deer to their jeep. It turns out that Zoe has been struggling after the death of her mother and she keeps hallucinating about her. She remains angry at all times and keeps getting into heated arguments with her father. Seeing Zoe's aggression during hunting, Todd mentions taking her to the therapist, but Zoe bursts onto him for not remembering her mother enough. Todd is worried for his daughter as she has estranged herself from the pleasures of life. For instance, she has even given up her cell phone. When Zoe refuses to comply with him, Todd asks her to remove his army jacket and face the world on her own. Just then, Zoe's best friend Lewis arrives to pick her up for school, and without giving Todd his jacket back, Zoe leaves. As the two of them speak casually on their way, some of their school bullies annoy them on the road. As they mock Lewis, asking him if he had sex with Zoe or not, Zoe loses her cool and humiliates them. This infuriates them, and they push Lewis's car off the road. Lewis is saddened for always being picked on and not standing up for himself. As he tries to get his car off the dirt, Zoe witnesses her classmate Chris Jellick planting a strange device in a field. However, Lewis brushes off her suspicions, reminding her that it must be some kind of prank as it is the senior prank day. Upon arriving at school, Lewis is weirded to see students' stupid pranks, such as tying bras on the flagpole. Nervous, he asks Zoe to talk to him for a couple of minutes in the corridor, but Zoe rushes for her class, promising to meet him in the afternoon. In the class, Zoe's friend Cora makes her listen to her new song. Zoe appreciates it and encourages her to become a singer one day. Just then, the professor arrives in a cranky mood due to students' pranks. Amidst the class, a boy interrupts, asking a girl about the upcoming prom, and Zoe feels frustrated by it. During the second period in the chemistry lab, Zoe's teacher, Mrs. Crawford, expresses concern for her and motivates her to get back to studying. However, Zoe misbehaves with her. Furious, she marches to her locker only to find a note from Lewis asking her to prom. Filled with mixed emotions, she ignores the message and leaves. The scene cuts to the field where the device explodes and sets the field on fire. Meanwhile, in her literature class, Zoe is confused to notice fumes of smoke arising from the field. Soon enough, Chris is seen arriving at the school's front office with a backpack and leaving it there. During lunchtime, Zoe meets Lewis in the school cafeteria and pretends as if she did not see the note. Lewis clarifies that he wants to go to prom with her like buddies. However, in the process of convincing her, he accidentally ends up spilling a drink on her. Exasperated, Zoe rushes to the bathroom without giving him any answer. Meanwhile, around town, another explosion occurs. In the bathroom, Zoe finds her classmate Anna Jellick in the toilet stall, reaching the false ceiling for something. When Zoe asks her if she needs any help, Anna deliberately bumps into Zoe, rejecting her help. Suspicious, Zoe decides to check the ceiling after Anna leaves but does not find anything. However, she remains unaware of the gun mark on the ceiling, meaning that Anna had a gun hidden there which she took away with herself. As Zoe attempts to wash her jacket, she sees a vision of her mother, making her realize that she was a bit harsh on Lewis. Meanwhile, in the school cafeteria, a van crashes inside, creating mayhem. 4 school shooters step out of the van. The leader, Tristan Voy, orders his accomplices, Chris Jellick, Anna Jellick, and Kip Quaid, to hijack the school and begin killing students. Chaos prevails in the cafeteria as terror and violence spread. Zoe finishes washing her jacket, and as she heads out of the bathroom, she bumps into her classmate Amy, who is shot in the stomach and covered in blood. Petrified, Zoe tries to help her, but she passes away on the bathroom floor. Anna sets out to empty the school and gather the students in the cafeteria. Tristan confronts a scared student, berating him for calling him homophobic slurs in the school corridors. Chris gets angry when he hears it, and, in his fury, he shoots the boy to death for disrespecting Tristan. When Zoe witnesses the killings, she decides to crawl through the bathroom ceiling to escape the school. Meanwhile, across town, the firefighters extinguish the fire from the multiple explosions, a move orchestrated by Tristan to keep the authorities busy. Tristan allows all the students to use their phones and call anyone to spread the news of the incident as he hopes to gain infamy. Zoe, who has been crawling to the ceiling, accidentally falls into the cafeteria's kitchen. When Tristan hears the noise, he orders Chris to kill whoever it is. Zoe hides under the kitchen counter, only to find the kitchen staff Brenda hiding there as well. To save Zoe's life, Brenda reveals herself to Chris, who infiltrates her with bullets. Devastated, Zoe tries her best to control her emotions. Tristan calls the school's front office, alerting them about the live shooting situation in the cafeteria. Shocked, they try to call 911, but before that could happen, Anna cuts off all communication lines of the school. Zoe manages to make her way out of the school through the exit door. However, instead of escaping, she decides to warn the unaware students and help them escape. Meanwhile, Tristan asks the hostages to go live on their social media and show the viewers the live takedown of the high school. Just then, the school's principal and security guard are sent to the cafeteria to investigate as per the protocol. The principal, Rob, tries to talk Tristan down, telling him not to take his rage out on the students. It turns out that Rob summoned Tristan to his office twice in the past week and threatened to expel him due to his poor behavior. He apologizes to Tristan for letting him down and blames himself for Tristan's rage, but to no avail. Suddenly, Tristan kills the principal but spares the unarmed security guard who pissed his pants, allowing him to escape. Meanwhile, Zoe and Cora tried to alert an ongoing class about the situation, but the teacher dismisses their warning, thinking it's a prank. Lewis, who has access to the school's Facebook page and a high number of viewers, is specifically tasked by Tristan with live streaming, and the rest of the students are asked to throw their phones in the bin. Zoe manages to evacuate a class full of students after assuring the teacher that she is not pranking him. Just then, a student shows her the live stream of Lewis on Facebook. Concerned, Zoe pushes the fire alarm, alerting the school of an emergency. Upon hearing the alarm, Tristan asks Anna to turn it off. Anna barges into the electrical room and turns off the alarm after killing the electrician. The teachers realize that it was a false alarm and take the students back into the classes. Agitated, Zoe decides to get to the front office to make an announcement. Anna cuts the main power of the school. When the police hear the news of the active shooters, they find themselves stuck in traffic caused by the explosions around the city. Sheriff Tarsi attempts to coordinate a response to the shooting, but unexpectedly, it turns out to be more difficult. Meanwhile, at the school, the front office calls a lockdown after confirming the situation. Tommy, the first police officer to arrive at the school, is blown away by an explosion in the front office through the backpack left there by Chris earlier. Finally, Sheriff Tarsi arrives at the school and is shocked to see the terrible situation. Tristan sends Anna to the front office to see the damage. When Anna arrives, Zoe pretends to be unconscious. To check if Zoe is alive or dead, Anna crushes her wrist, but Zoe does not make a sound. The media picks up Lewis's live stream, making Tristan happy, and he begins removing students from their classrooms where they are locked. Anna encounters Zoe trying to help students, and in the resulting fight, she ends up getting killed. Meanwhile, Tristan asks a teacher to strip for the live stream and promises not to hurt the students in exchange. Zoe searches Anna's pockets and takes her phone. When she sees her thigh bleeding, she uses Anna's belt to put pressure on the wound. A police officer is sent to Tristan's house to investigate. Upon peeking through the window, the officer finds Tristan's mother murdered. Chris, who has been in charge of the hostages in the cafeteria, notices someone escaping and opens fire. Kip encounters Zoe and chases her. On his way, he finds the dead Anna and follows Zoe to kill her. However, Zoe manages to overpower and handcuff him in the school theater. Amidst the chaos, Zoe keeps hallucinating her mother, who teaches her to be stronger, guiding her to let her free. Zoe then asks Kip his excuse for committing cold-blooded murders. Kip confesses that it's his rage for a bullying incident that occurred when he was in grade 6. Disgusted, Zoe explains to him that he murdered several innocent students who had nothing to do with the incident. She tells him about the innocent Amy, who had died in her arms on the bathroom floor and had never hurt a soul. Kip is moved by her words and feels embarrassed. Eventually, the students' parents start arriving at the school and wait for their children to come out alive. Zoe gathers an entire class of students and contacts Sheriff Tarsi, requesting him not to broadcast the school on the news as the shooters are watching it, hindering the students from escaping. Tarsi does as told so Zoe can safely evacuate students. Finally, Tarsi finds Tristan's contact number and calls him live on air to stall him. Zoe evacuates the class, and with the help of Mrs. Crawford, she goes in to help others as well. As Tarsi tries to talk down Tristan, Chris realizes that it's a trick and that someone is helping students to evacuate. Todd finds out from the rescued students that Zoe is the one helping others evacuate. This motivates him to help his daughter. Tristan contacts Anna, but since Zoe has her phone, she answers his call and tells him that Anna is dead. Furious at Zoe for ruining his plan, Tristan threatens to kill hostages every 5 minutes if she does not reveal her face to him. Mrs. Crawford tries to stop Zoe from going to Tristan, but Zoe cares for the hostages' lives and leaves. She approaches Kip, who expresses remorse for killing the innocent Amy. Zoe tells him that he can atone for his mistakes by trapping Tristan so people can remember his legacy. Meanwhile, Todd manages to sneak his way near the school with his hunting sniper rifle and takes a sniping position. Zoe reveals herself to Tristan, who gladly shows her how he has gained popularity on the news. Furious at Zoe for killing his sister, Chris insists Tristan kills her, but Tristan does not listen to him and keeps asking Zoe how she knew about his plan. Just then, Kip arrives with a rifle pointing at Tristan. When Tristan tries to talk him down, Chris opens fire, killing Kip and creating chaos that allows Zoe and Lewis to escape. Tristan orders Chris to chase them and bring back the live streaming phone. Lewis, who got injured in the shootout, leaves his phone in the corridor, and Zoe helps him get away. She helps him settle on a couch and kisses him, revealing that he's the best thing in her life. Lewis informs her that the van in the cafeteria is filled with explosives and might be dangerous for the hostages. Zoe rushes to save the hostages but finds Chris looking for her. She ambushes him to the chemistry lab and spills a chemical on his face. However, Chris manages to overpower her, and just when he's about to kill her, Todd takes an angle on him, blowing his brains out. Zoe is happy to see her father, but Todd ends up getting arrested by the SWAT. Zoe then sends a picture of the dead Chris to Tristan and takes on the live stream, teasing Tristan that despite his hard work, people are going to remember her, not him. This infuriates Tristan, and in his fury, he sets the van to explode and escapes with a hostage. When Zoe sees him escaping, she rushes to the cafeteria, ordering the hostages to run away. She then gets into the van that is set to explode in less than a minute and jams it in reverse. Within a minute, the van explodes in the empty parking lot. Limping, she tries to find Tristan but is wrongly arrested by SWAT. Just then, an explosion occurs. Arrested on the floor, she cries after seeing a vision of her mother leaving her. After the situation cools down, Sheriff Tarsi meets Zoe in the SWAT van and appreciates her for her efforts. She asks him about Tristan and finds out that he burnt to a crisp in an explosion. Finally, she meets her arrested father, and the two make up. Just then, she sees Tristan getting away into the woods. It turns out that he faked his own death. Furious, Zoe gets her father's rifle and shoots Tristan to death. The film ends with Zoe standing over Tristan's body, telling him that he died a deserving death. This movie has a rating of 6.3 on IMDb. I hope you all liked this video. If yes, then make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.